Hi, everybody. Welcome back to the Meeting of the Minds. I am very happy to be joined remotely by Amanda Baca, who's Director of Development for the School of Medicine at the University of New Mexico. Hi, Amanda.
Hey Bob, how's it going?
It's going fine. And I invited Amanda to be part of the conference this year because I got wind of a lot of work she was doing in her prospect engagement with video. And certainly that's become a hot topic at a lot of conferences. But she, I think, has been very thoughtful in comprehensively kind of working video into the various parts of the donor life cycle, engagement cycle. And so we're going to probably intersperse in this chat some pictures and examples of what we're talking about. But, you know, I keep an eye out for who is kind of a tipping point, I think, in our work, and especially with channels in our work. And, you know, I'm old enough that, you know, the phonathons were new when I started in advancement, and we've sort of gone through that progression. Paper letters, you know, still hold a place in people's hearts. And now email and web pages and giving days and everything else. And I think we've hit a tipping point with video as well. And so I'm grateful to have a chance to chat with you. We should say part of, I think, your trailblazing in the use of video predates your work at the University of New Mexico at a place called Holt International. And why don't I give you a chance to say hi, say a little bit about Holt, and then I'll ask some questions about how you're using video.
Okay, great. So yeah, I had the great privilege of working for an international child welfare organization called Holt International. They were also the first international adoption agency started in Creswell, Oregon. And I worked there for about 2.5 years. And it was an incredible experience just working there, doing the work and creating the impact for the kids that we were, and the kids and the families, and had a lot of freedom and support from my then supervisor, Rick Erickson. And so was just really kind of given free rein to try out video. I thought it would be a good opportunity to work in the digital age, especially because we went into COVID and we needed a different way to engage with our donors. And I think, you know, when we first went into COVID, it was kind of like, well, we can use this for now. And I thought, I think we can use this for always. And as we, I think, all have come to terms with, the engagement that we're doing online is going to stick around. So I think video, like you said, has reached a tipping point. And so it's here to stay. And I think it's a really great, innovative way that, at least for now, it's innovative still. To get in front of your donors or prospects and just try something new.
So you really are kind of a video evangelist, aren't you, at this point?
I feel
And
like yeah, everybody needs to kind of just at least try it out. If it doesn't work for you, then you can say no thank you.
and tell me if this is accurate. I mean, you came from really a worldwide agency with Holt, and
Yes.
so I want to think that maybe you guys at Holt, as much as anybody, needed some way to bring down beneficiaries and donors and showing things rather than just writing about things. I mean, if anybody would have been sort of a front runner in this idea, is it fair to say you guys would have been?
You know, I don't know if I would say we were a front runner, but I think we really found ways in which we could use the video, like you. So previously, before COVID, we would send our what we called our creative team out to our different sites, and we worked in 14 different countries. So we would send our creative team out to gather different video, different testimonials, and things of that nature. But
Footage.
you know, that required sending an entire crew across the world. And when COVID hit, obviously we weren't able to travel like that. And secondly, since we found this tool in Bombbomb, I thought, why don't we just, the great thing about Bombbomb is that you can record a video and send it, but you can also request a video back. And I know that's not new in video platforms, but it was new for us. And so we were able to send a video request to some of our program managers that were on site in different areas of China and India and South Korea, and request them to send, video back. So that was hugely powerful to show, not tell, what kind of work we were doing in the field and what impact our donors were making, because they were continuing to support us through the pandemic. And I think it was incredibly powerful.
And we should, for anyone who doesn't know, and I didn't know about Bombbomb before I met Amanda. Um, Bombbomb is a video messaging. I don't even know what category of product you would call that.
Yeah, yeah. Platform.
But platform. Thank you. And it even took me a while after we first talked to even Google like how to even spell bomb bomb. I don't know if it's like La Bamba or what, but it's
Yeah, no,
B-O-M-B,
bombbomb.com.
B-O-M-B.com. Say a little bit about bomb bomb, and then we'll talk about how you integrated it into what you do.
Yeah, so I really enjoyed Bombbomb when I was at Holt. I don't use Bombbomb any longer, and I really wish I could, because the ease of access, or I mean, the ease of use was just right there. And it had a lot of features that you don't see necessarily on all the platforms. So you could record your video straight from your phone, which you can with other platforms, but you could record it from your phone, record it from your from your laptop, and then either store it on the server there and use it for a different time, which is what we did for a lot of the content that we were getting back from the different programs in different countries. And then or you could just, send a video straight away from your phone and text it to whomever you were trying to get a hold of at the time. That was really helpful because it has the two-way communication option where you can request a video back, or they can just choose to send a video. There's an option underneath to send a video back. That was a really great way for me to engage with specific donors that were like, we were based in Eugene, Oregon, but I was working with prospects in Maine and New Jersey, and so that in Vermont. And that was really helpful for having two-way communication that wasn't necessarily in real time.
And we should probably say for anybody watching, neither you nor I are being compensated by BombBomb for this
No, but
endorsement. Go ahead.
if they'd like to, yeah, if they'd like to sponsor a meeting of the minds, that's an option.
And Amanda is not compensated for her promotion of the meeting of the minds either.
No,
But we should be express some rightful gratitude to Thankview and other sponsors I've seen over the years that are now in this space, and I've long been appreciative of JD and the gang at Thankview. So this is not to fly in the face of all their good work, just to point out another alternative, I guess you could say.
absolutely.
And we were talking about how with existing donors, it has really become almost a default way for you to message people, from the time you hear they made a gift, even to helping to steward their gift. Would you talk a little bit about that life cycle for existing donors? And then we'll talk about some other ways you might use it too.
Yeah, absolutely. So when I was at Holt and working with established donors that I had already qualified, I had already built a portfolio by the time we had access to Bombbomb. And so anytime I would know that, a donor gave a gift, maybe it was a surprise gift that I didn't solicit, but they wanted to give, I would send them, either way, I would send them a video just to say thank you. And I think one of the fun things that we could do is, you can you can record it multiple times. So if you don't like a video, which I know I'm a perfectionist, and I think sometimes I just had to be like, fine, this is good enough. But you can record it several ways. So I would just say thank you and provide a little bit of the impact that they were going to make or had made, just to say thank you and really engage with them in that way. I think one of my favorite features of Bombbomb is that instead of just having a thumbnail of a video, you actually had a GIF, so you had a little bit of motion. So I would typically hold up a whiteboard and that would say thank you, and I would wave and smile, and then hopefully get a good GIF, and then send a video message just saying thank you for your gift to whatever fund they were giving to, and express gratitude that way. And then sometimes I'd get a a response, and it was really, really fun and a wonderful way to engage with your donors and also build that relationship, because a lot of them hadn't necessarily seen me before. I hadn't been able to travel to them and meet them face to face. So that might have been their first time ever seeing me as a human being instead of just a voice on a phone or like, text, email.
Well, again, you seem like an organization when you were at Holt that was particularly logistically challenged, because I could just imagine your donor base being pretty far flung, not to mention the beneficiaries of what you do. So, it's not really overstating it, is it, to say all of a sudden everybody was kind of had the ability to be together in a way through these videos. And, will you still use a film crew? You would almost not need to. Everybody just pull out your phone wherever you are.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, obviously there are still needs for having a more polished production, but I think especially when it comes to building relationships and stewarding, we want to be as genuine and authentic as we can be. And a polished video is not where it's at. So having a video where you see, like my garland in the back, I think can be really humanizing for a lot of people, especially since we are in the business of, asking for support, and sometimes that can dehumanize us.
You and I were talking about how we think video has really arrived as a channel. And, within video, I've seen an evolution too, where I think initially we were all kind of trying to copy commercials, or we were so concerned about style guidelines and, just everything being just perfect that drove the way videos got made. And now I think we're really at that tipping point of just, I don't know if organic is the word, or like you said, things that feel one to one or really personal. But that seems to be where you're getting a lot of your traction.
Yeah, absolutely. Again, I think it really comes back down to we're in the business of building relationships, and it's really difficult to build a relationship oftentimes if you don't like see and hear a person and you're just doing it through email. And I understand that's going to be some people's preference, and that's great. That's, I love diversity. But but it does really, I think, create some excitement in hearing from a person when you get to just like see a video and have someone talking just to you through video. And then also, because video is still newer, it can be really innovative, and people may not have experienced something like that before. So it's really novel, and I think can really open doors, and has opened doors for me. So, going through the life cycle from stewardship and then more cultivation, sending maybe video from the field that you can edit together and just, have your intro video from the field, and then maybe an outro that you're discussing, and you could use it for solicitation that way as well. But also going back to the beginning of the donor life cycle, just qualification. I think we still, a lot of us, and I still do this as well, send the intro letter that says, "Hi, my name is this, and I'll contact you soon." Or an email that's just text saying the same thing if we have their email. But if you have their email, it's also a great way to get in front of somebody and be a little bit innovative, a little maybe extra for them. And I think that can be really helpful in just opening that door and getting them to speak to you. I've been working with a donor that I put together like a little stewardship video for, and it was a donor couple. They received the video and immediately, contacted us, wanted to have a conversation with us. And in the video that I put together, I had testimonials from some of the people they were serving through their giving. And so that day we had a conversation with them, and they were ready to give another gift. So I think, it's really powerful in a way that isn't necessarily like in your face, but really effective in getting to share stories in a very genuine and authentic way.
People really can't deny that you're talking directly to them, can they? I mean,
No, because half the time when I'm holding up my whiteboard, I say like, "Thank you, whomever," and
yeah.
that way they see that immediately as well. Like, oh, this isn't just some stock video that they're mass blasting out to everyone. This is specifically for me.
Yeah, and there's that wow factor we talked about that, the same way people are in love with the handwritten letter. I mean, in a way, this has now become the video version of a handwritten letter, isn't
Yeah, absolutely. Especially since our attention spans are so much shorter.
it? um, so we talked about when somebody makes a gift, you sort of get triggered, and then you can jump in and say and send them a video.
Mhm.
I think the real sweet spot for videos like this is the high end annual giving sort of level where maybe somebody hasn't fully graduated to major gifts, but they're above the broad based sort of direct marketing that we tend to do. And also logistically, especially for a place like Holt, we may not be able to just send a gift officer out to meet with all these people person to person. So this is kind of a little different category. Somebody who might be in your portfolio but wasn't an immediate previous donor, but probably has some giving history of some sort. And so
Mhm.
you were already alluding to this. I guess any advice for people who are trying to solve that particular riddle with that segment of their pyramid about what is your approach and what do you do in your teaser video that really just strikes the right note?
Yeah, I think with like the teaser kind of gift that they're seeing when you first open up the email or text, it's really important to address the person and have some movement and be a real person and not an automaton. Um, so having the like thank you or like a hi whomever and really addressing that person one to one will be more effective, obviously, than if it were going to be something that were more generic. And I think just being really genuine in yourself, because people can see that through video, just like they can see it in real life, um, is really important. And I think that the video, if you can't get out to see somebody for whatever reason, that is showing a lot more effort than maybe just writing a handwritten thank you, because you're taking the time to actually like put yourself out there. And I think that's another important thing, or an important aspect about using video is they're getting to see you and recognize that you're recording your face, and that that's going to be there for like on the internet for potentially forever. So
They owe
I
you.
think it's never going away. So I think that that also creates a little bit more uh, uh,
Trust,
warmth
warmth, yeah.
between people on a first engagement.
And then what is it they at what point are they allowed to film a video and reply, or do you just say reply to this email and maybe we could find a time to
Yeah,
chat?
so what's great with Bombbomb is that you don't even have to request a video. You can, when they open up, so like they can click on your little video in your email. And one of the great things about Bombbomb too is that you can actually just input the GIF into your own email. So you don't have to send it from the Bombbomb platform, which is really helpful so that it comes from you and not like some generic email that you had to create so that you can use this platform.
And
Um,
and nothing against any other platforms.
no, no, no. But I do think
But
that's
in
really important to think about, especially it's coming from you. They see you in the video and like moving. It's a real video. It's not just a photo of you. And so that's really important. But so when they click on that video in the email, it'll open up like other platforms. It'll open up in a browser, and then with underneath the video itself, there's an option that you can just reply with video, or you can comment on the video. You can like the video. It's kind of gamifies it a little bit. But that's it's as simple as that. But you do have to send the video in order to get a video back.
yeah, but you're trying to move towards a conversation with them, right? And so this is
Yes.
just a way to sort of warm the invitation to a conversation,
Yeah,
right?
and you could even, so in BombBomb they have a call to action button like a lot of other things, but you could send a link to your calendar scheduler, or share another link to maybe part of your website, something like that. And then within the context of the video that you're speaking, you can invite them to a conversation, or you can put that in the body of the email.
Uh, Great. How does Bomb Bomb charge for its bomb bombs?
So you get a lot of bombs
You
for
get a
your
lot of bomb.
money.
It's good value. A bomb
It's a
bomb.
good value. I will say that, it is, it's a great alternative for a platform that maybe has more bells and whistles like ThankView. I'm really fortunate. We get to use ThankView now, or I get to use ThankView now in my role here at UNM. But um, Holt didn't have that kind of liquidity, and we just didn't have the budget for something like ThankView that has a lot more bells and whistles. But Bombbomb was really effective. They charge per seat, but it's a really reasonable price. Since I haven't used it in a while, I don't know what the pricing structure is anymore, but it was really reasonable. They charge per seat, and then you get it for like a contract for a year, 3 years, and you can kind of negotiate that. And I think there are discounts based on the longevity of the contract.
Okay. And okay, so we've talked about when somebody has just made a gift. We've talked about when you're trying to sort of engage people in a conversation, right? And somebody who's in cultivation mode, I guess you could say. Um, then what about like even before all of that, as maybe more of an
Like
acquisition tool?
acquisition.
I mean, a lot of what we've been talking about is that one-to-one, which it's okay with me to create that feeling, even if it's a bigger mass non-donor audience. How do you, does that, am I barking up the wrong tree with that? Is there potential there?
I think there's a lot of potential in all honesty. I think especially when it comes to getting someone's attention for the first time and they're maybe not engaged with you, having a video of either yourself or like for an acquisition purpose, one of the people that's benefiting from donations. So at a university or higher education institution, having the student speak, having maybe the president speak. I think it's more effective always when you have a student speak, or having somebody, a program officer that can speak about what is going on at the organization and maybe some of the challenges, and that can be really effective in getting people in the door just to be interested. And then with the call to action, it is really helpful because they can check out your website. All they have to do is click on that button. They don't have to like search for you. So I think that can be really, really beneficial in an acquisition kind of realm. And also, so I'll do a quick plug for my good friend Justin Ware. He has been instrumental in getting me started in video and online engagement. And he now runs First Name. So he's a partner in First Name, which is a BWF company, and they have an incredible educational side to how to use that as an acquisition, how to use video as an acquisition tool, and then specifically for higher education too.
So I'm guessing it sounds like maybe you aren't as personalized as you would be managing your portfolio, but
Yeah.
there's other ways to make good use of video, whether it's the person talking or other rich content that you can show people. And so maybe you haven't dipped your toe in the pool a whole lot with it in your work, but it seems intuitively like that's as good a channel as anything else.
Yeah, I believe so. And I think, again, video's going to be here to stay. And we're seeing more and more content in short snippets of video. And I don't think that that's going to go away anytime soon. So you may as well like get on the train.
You just touched on this a minute ago. So volunteers is something I've thought about. So I went to a boys' high school in Cleveland, Ohio, and we just had a class competition challenge that the class of '82, to date myself, just won. Thank you very much. And as I hear you talk about Bomba, and we didn't use video at all. I did a lot with texting, which was really, really useful, and I cleaned up all the bad contact information my school had. But in the way I'm hearing you talk about Bomb, it could have been just as useful to have me calling out my classmates by name in individual messages and saying, you probably owe me money from 1982. You need to make a gift to our school.
Yeah, absolutely.
Have you? I mean, Holt is a particular kind of institution, but have you seen some success with third-party people bombing?
I haven't, and I think especially with Bombbomb because it was because I only had access to Bombbomb for a limited time while I was with Holt.
Yeah.
But I think that that could be a really effective method to use if you're going to do like a crowdfunding campaign or a peer-to-peer campaign. That would be a great way for you to kind of razz some of your friends into giving and really kind of, just either motivate, inspire, or peer pressure
Threaten.
someone into giving.
Yeah, yeah, embarrass. Those are all the skills I've mastered in the last month. But if like for an organization that has a leadership annual giving society, let's say,
Mhm.
to take maybe someone who's already giving at that level, who would be willing to say, Bill or Mary, why don't you join me with the gift in the Safari Society or whatever? All of a sudden I'm a club member like you, and I can get away with inviting you to join me in a way that the fundraiser can't always sort of use the same language, right?
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. I think it could be, used as like a friendly challenge, in a very I keep saying effective, but yeah, in a really effective way. I think again, you open up the doors when you have kind of like this interaction with a person on the other end instead of just maybe, some text on a screen.
I have to ask you this. I think sometimes we get a little lazy in education because we've got this built-in relationship with alumni and parents and those audiences. And I think Rick Erickson would say this too, that when you work for another type of not-for-profit and you can't assume the relationship at all, and you really need to throw your arms around people when they make a gift, even when you just get their attention, right? So, any observations for now being back in the education fold that whether it's video specific or something more broad about why we ought to think differently about the way we go about things in education?
Yeah, well, I think you're right. I think, we tend to rest on our laurels in higher education because we have something that has worked in the past, and I think a lot of us get really comfortable with that. And at the same time, when we work for an institute that is supposed to be advancing knowledge, I think it's really important to one, um,
Be
start
smart.
using more, yeah, to innovate on what we've been doing, because it's innovate or perish. That's really what it's about. And I think that because we have these kind of built-in relationships, there's an assumption that they're still going to have some sort of connection. And if we didn't do a great job building our pipeline and engaging um, alumni while they were young, then I mean, I can speak for myself, but I have my work cut out for me in this position. And this has been incredible in helping me, again, open those doors to people that I have in my portfolio that I'm trying to qualify. And letters and just plain emails and calls don't always do it. So just trying something new and showing that you're willing to put yourself out there to get in touch with the person, I think is really helpful.
Well, and even the people who are working hard being road warriors, are still only getting to people in Phoenix or Santa Fe, and they're not getting to a big chunk of, people who have affinity and who have demonstrated giving even. And so, we've been liberated in a way if we know the smart way to connect all those dots, it seems to me.
Yeah, and I think I mentioned this to you earlier, but I feel like some of my colleagues think that I'm using a cheat code with the video because it has been really effective. And I've got to say, like, it's going to be more effective. If it's going to be more effective, why wouldn't you just try it out? And then you can say no, thank you if it's not for you.
Yeah, well, and the fact that we can have this very conversation as part of a conference that's still largely in person, but also has hybrid speakers and can also have recorded content. I mean, we're still sharing your wisdom and your experience,
Yeah,
as long as you're
yeah.
willing to think outside the box, right?
Yeah, well, and thank you so much. I do have to say thank you so much for being flexible because I was supposed to present via Zoom because I couldn't make it out to California, but I had a last minute donor trip come up, and now I'm not able to make the time that I was supposed to present anymore. So I think it's a really good, point that we can continue to be innovative and make things work. if we just think outside of the box a little bit.
And so we will superimpose contact information if it's okay. People can get in touch with you if they want to hear more of your examples about how you've woven this into what you do. I've already invited her to come and tell the story in person next year in Pomona. So fingers crossed we'll be able to pull that off. Congratulations and good luck in your still new role at the University of New Mexico. And we should probably give Rick a shout out too. Rick Erickson, who's at Holt International still, and has been, to your point, I think a very um, smart thinker in this space about everything is now an experiment and we should try things on a Monday and reevaluate them on a Thursday, and put the Google metrics flat TV up in the break room for everybody to learn all that terminology, right? And I think that's all very smart thinking, and you seem to be a happy disciple of all
Yeah,
that.
absolutely. I think it's really important for us to just not, it's so easy to get comfortable doing what you're doing, but if you're going to advance, you know, it's never going to be painless if you want to get through stuff. It's always about trying something new, being a little uncomfortable, flexing your muscles and trying again. And, picking yourself up and dusting yourself off if it doesn't work. But
Well said.
that's how we
Well
get better.
said. And it's wrong to reach the wrong conclusions that people don't care or people don't want to give, or if we're just not engaging them with a thumbnail or whatever that has a wow factor and initiates a relationship and initiates a conversation, right?
Yeah, yeah. Never tell yourself stories for them, and never make a decision for your donor. That's what I have to tell myself all the time.
You and I have enough words of wisdom to last another hour in this conversation, I will quit while I'm ahead and say thank you very much. Great stuff. The product is Bombbomb, but we're all for any product that any channel that helps engaged with our audiences. But thank you very much. Come and see us in Pomona next year, will you?
Yeah, will do. Thanks so much, Bob.
Okay, thanks everybody. Hope you enjoyed it. It's Amanda Baca at the University of New Mexico. Thanks again.
All right, thanks. Bye.